Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we have an exciting topic to discuss and that has been making waves in the investment world for some time. Nanodimension, ticker symbol NNDM. And in this video we will dive into a comprehensive analysis of NNDM, explore its background, the recent performance, the future prospects, and key factors to consider before investing. Before the video begins, if you would like to see more stock analysis videos like this one, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, please check out the affiliate links down in the description if you would like to support my channel with no extra cost for you when using those services. So with all that being said, let's jump right into it. As the market remains very volatile at the moment, we should always be mindful of which positions to pick, as well as their individual timing for entry and exits. Now, there's a pretty interesting update on Nanodimension and the recent response to a report by Lake Street Capital. Now, let's take a quick look at where Nanodimension stock stands first. As of today, Nanodimension is trading at around $2.98 per share, close to $3, which is quite a feat. In the report, Nanodimension's chairman and CEO addresses the likelihood of their tender offer for 51% stake in Stratasys. He clarifies that basically the probability at which they're going to succeed at doing so is not dependent on the upcoming court decisions regarding the legality of such shareholder votes in order to remove the board and the management team members. Now, he also points out that a publicly published court decision from April 16, 2023 allows Nanodimension to continue its business operations, including the M&A transactions, such as, and I want to say especially, the completion for Stratasys transaction. Now, he also responds to the claims made by analysts that institutional investors don't support this acquisition attempt. The CEO mentions that they are engaged with over 25 institutions and many other shareholders of Stratasys, and he says that many of them are willing to support this tender. Now, there are conditions, especially surrounding the price adjustments, that should be higher than 18%. Now, when he addresses those claims, he also wanted to correct the notion of a previous attempt. The fact that, people say that they were not serious enough because of the difference in price and so on. He said that Nanodimension's first tendered price was at $18 at the end of May 2023. And the share price was trading at less than 14. In other words, there's quite a premium in a relatively bearish market. The share price actually increased following the tender. So they also increased the offer to $20. So basically, we're having a CEO defending his assertions and assumptions and also decisions. But keep in mind that Nanodimension is in a bit of a delicate situation where the market is is looking forward to its future performance, but there are ongoing court cases. Now, let's also take a look at the technicals. The trading volume is around 4.5 million shares versus the average volume of 3.2 million shares. Over the past 52 weeks period, the price fluctuated between $2.06 and $3.74. The volume tells us how many shares are being bought and sold at any given point, and if there's enough liquidity to support a trading strategy. If the float is very thin, it could be very easy to influence, but low liquidity could also mean that the demand is limited too. When we compare the current volume against the average volume, there might be the possibility for trend reversal or breakthrough if the difference is super large. The market cap of Nanodimension is around $622 million versus the enterprise value, about half of it, at around $321 million. As we compare the current price to the historical price fluctuations, the stock is 38% higher than the 1-month low, 38% higher than the 3-month low and 45% higher than the 52 weeks low. Now, in the options market, the implied volatility is 63% versus the historical volatility of 52%. Put-call volume ratio is currently around 0.01. It's normal for many stocks to also have a higher put option volume than what they deserve because many institutional investors hedge their long positions by buying put options. The most recent volume of options traded is 6,000 contracts a day versus the 30-day average of 3,000. In terms of open interest, the most recent volume of open interest is around 125,000 contracts versus the 30-day average of 124,000. Regarding the shareholder structure, 35% of the outstanding shares are owned by institutional shareholders. This means that it's important enough for us to consider Palantir as a potential investment target instead of just a purely trading position. The current short interest is just 7%, so we don't really have a case regarding any sort of naked short or short squeezes. Nanodimension is a company that is specialized in intelligent machines to help upgrading the efficiency of manufacturing processes. They are one of the early adapters and participants in what we refer as the fourth industrial revolution. The manufacturing landscape has been undergoing major transformation, and this revolution is no exception. It is driven by advanced technologies that are reshaping the ways goods and products are being produced. It builds upon the progress of previous revolution waves, as the first one brought mechanization with steam, the second one used electricity, the third one introduced automation and computerization, and now the fourth one integrates cutting-edge technologies to redefine the entire process. One crucial technology in this case would be the Internet of Things, connecting machines, sensors, adapters, and products through the internet. This connectivity allows real-time connections and data sharing, enabling better control and decision-making. Another essential technology is the big data and analytics. Industry 4.0 leverages vast amounts of data, collecting them, analyzing them, and in order to transform them into information. This information then provides valuable insights, enabling manufacturers to make data-driven decisions for process improvements, quality control, and predictive maintenance. Artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies are also integral parts of Industry 4.0. AI-powered systems learn from data and perform tasks that typically require human input. In the manufacturing industry, AI and ML enhance productivity, quality, and safety by automating the repetitive tasks, which optimize the workflow and detect anomalies faster. Additive manufacturing, commonly known as 3D printing, is yet another key technology used by Nanodimension. So, this would allow for the creation of three-dimensional objects by adding layers of materials. This technology offers benefits like customization, rapid prototyping, and reduced waste in the production process. Robotics and automation play a crucial role in Industry 4.0. Robots and automation systems perform complex tasks with precision, speed, and consistency. This leads to increased productivity, reduced errors, and also improved safety in the manufacturing environments. Nanodimension is an early participant in additively manufactured electronics, also called AME. The company aims to transform the way manufacturing works, not just in terms of the facility size, but also in the variety of products these platforms manufacture. Nanodimension is known for undergoing a series of strategic acquisitions, which integrate many other advanced platforms in its own. Nanodimension positions itself in a manufacturing world in such a way so that its platforms are sold to other fellow manufacturers. They are partially insulated against the direct fluctuations of consumer good demands, since their platforms can be used to produce many kinds of goods. These platforms also allow their clients to increase their possibilities both in terms of scale and quality of the goods. In terms of the financials, Nanodimension saw its activities increasing significantly between 2021 and 2022. The revenues totaled more than $43 million, increasing by at least 215% over the course of the last year. But more importantly, the gross profit of the company totals $14 million in 2022, which is very significant. The gross profit is a testament that the business model of Nanodimension will eventually work if only we give it enough time to grow in scale. The research and development cost of Nanodimension increased significantly as well. And this is a very encouraging sign for me personally, because this means that the company relies on its technologies in order to compete in this undeveloped landscape of Industry 4.0. In a way, I don't necessarily consider this cost as a regular expense, but very much as an investment for its own future. Regarding the operating costs, they have increased somewhat compared to 2021, but not as much as its revenue increase. This is why I think that Nanodimension can eventually improve its finances thanks to its own operational cash inflows. This is not the case just yet, but I think that we are looking at something of the sort in the near future. Lots of the cash outflows are also the results of the purchases Nanodimension accumulated over the years, with their individual values fluctuating in the eyes of the open market as the economy enters into a different paradigm. I think that we gotta be mindful that Nanodimension is a company aiming to grow for the foreseeable future and has no plans in increasing its own capacities just yet. In that sense, things are progressing according to plans. The company also mentioned that they will have enough resources to maintain their ongoing operations at least over the next 12 months. So for the time being, things are definitely under control. Another factor to consider when deciding if you should be buying Nanodimension shares or not is the overall capital environment. The stock market acts as a representation of actualized future expectations. To that end, the market is an imperfect tool reflecting not just our rational assumptions, but also our own greed and fear the market is capturing. So, this measure can be represented in the amount of capital currently participating in the equities market. And to a large extent, it influences the stock price of many titles in the open exchanges, but especially the startups. When the interest rates are very low, capital is forced to take on additional risks by seeking profits outside of their safer options, thus pushing up the asset price in the equities in a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the era of quantitative easing could be behind us for good, or at least for the time being. But the habit of the market after 15 years of bullishness may take some time to readjust to the new reality, while waiting for the big price correction to finally happen. This phenomenon is partially neutralized by the fact that a lot of capital is flowing to the American market in seeking for safe haven in uncertain times, and this will probably delay the much needed corrections. This is why I believe that the stock market acts very erratically and it's going to remain so over the next 6 months, with major swings, ups and downs, but especially down. As a reaction, of course, to the low growth and the high inflation economic environment the world will likely face beyond the short-term crises. Considering the recent development of the CEO's response to the analyst's report, my recommendation for people who already own Nanodimension is that if you currently own Nanodimension, if you currently hold them, now you have to closely check what's going to happen and to take into account the tender offer for the stake in Stratasys, the core decisions, and any sort of similar updates, because they're going to have a huge impact. But for the time being, definitely hold. Now, regarding their possibility of buying Nanodimensions, I would say that Nanodimensions is currently having quite a bit of momentum in the market. So maybe now is a good time to start accumulating, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the only play in town, right? So definitely go slow with it and assume that anything that could go wrong will go wrong. And even then, stress test your position to see whether it can hold to all those scenarios. With that being said, I would say that if you don't own any Nano Dimensions, my recommendation is to start buying Nndm shares on a NASDAQ. And with that being said, I would say that it's a stock with a sufficient degree of institutional participation for me to feel comfortable to recommend investing in it instead of just trading. Now, I would recommend to commit between 1 to 3% of your portfolio's capital into Nano Dimension.